Hello and welcome back, artists and designers. Today we are learning about creating with radial symmetry in Adobe Illustrator. We're going to start super simple and then work up to more complex things as you feel comfortable. So let's go ahead and start with something like this first flower right here. I'm going to set my default stroke to black and my fill color to none, and I can change this later. So let's go ahead and make this first petal. And all we have to do is make one petal here. So we're going to go ahead and make that one single petal. And I'm just going to draw it with the ellipse, nothing special. And I'm going to go up to the object menu. I'm going to go down to repeat, and I'm going to choose radial. And that is where the magic happens. And very similar to the polygon tool, you can crank this up and increase how many petals you have, or decrease all the way down to basically back to 1. So you can kind of mess with that right there. You can also decide to drag this closer or pull it further apart. Or if you don't like that, I kind of like doing it from over here. You can also increase that here by scrolling up and down. And you can go right here and also increase and decrease that by scrolling up and down on your mouse as well. So that gives you some good options there. Let's bring this in a little bit closer. Let's decrease the number of instances until we get something that's pretty similar to what we see up top there. So I think that about does it for that one. Let's go ahead and make a slightly more complicated petal, although not much more. Let's go ahead and make this one here. I'm going to start the same way. And I'm going to make my single petal. Zoom in this so we can see a little bit closer. So I just need to make a point on either side of my petal. So I'm going to go ahead and take my direct selection. I'll pick that anchor point. I'm going to hold Shift, and I'm going to pick this anchor point. And then I'm going to go ahead and go right over here and convert those. And that way I get a much more interesting maybe petal shape than the original. So let's repeat that process. So I'm going to go ahead and select my petal now. And I'm going to go up to Object, Repeat, Radial, and there we go. And now I can decrease or increase this. Let's decrease it, bring it a little closer together. So we can do that and kind of see what that looks like. I can increase my instances here. Let's go up to 9 or maybe 10. I like 10. And now let's see what happens if we change the color of this. So I'm going to go ahead and take this right here, move this up. And let's go ahead and change the fill color. So if I click on fill right now, the default swatches are not great. I added a couple more in here just to kind of experiment. So let's go ahead and apply like a purple fill to it. So you can see that there's an overlap, starting with that first petal and then radiating around until you kind of get to the last petal. I think it maybe starts at the bottom here. So it does create that overlap, but that's really fun where you can now duplicate this and add another version of this. So let's say I take this whole flower that I had right here, just to build up a little complexity. Let's copy it, let's paste it, and I could take this next flower, I could throw that right in over top, and then I could change the color of this one and maybe make it this lighter pink value right there. And so now I've taken one simple petal and added a fill color to it, did the radial repeat, and then just kind of created a slightly more complex flower based on that. You can keep going here. Let's take this same petal. I'm going to double click and get into this petal. I'm going to just go ahead and copy that. So I'm inside of this radial repeat, you can see now. I'm going to go ahead and get out of there. And now let's just paste this petal back in. So we're back to square one with our petal. I could change the shape a little bit of it this time. Maybe I'll make it a little bit wider just to see what happens. And let's go ahead and do the same thing. Object, Repeat, Radial, and we'll get that going here. And now let's see if we can't do something a little bit different by modifying the petal itself. Oops, get back closer together there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to double click on a petal. Any petal, doesn't really matter. So I'm going to go ahead and double click and go inside of here. Now this is kind of the cool part. I could add more to this one petal and it's going to do it on all of them. So you can use any of the tools that you know. Let's start really simple and just do like another ellipse. So if I make another ellipse in here like that, you can see it's already repeating inside of the other areas. So if I put that in there, I change the color of it, for example, and make this maybe like the pink color, that creates a really nice kind of look to it. You can draw freehand in here. So if I don't like that, maybe I would take my pencil tool, and what if I were to add something with the pencil tool? Let's go ahead and hit delete. And what if I took and just created like kind of a curvy little line with my pencil tool? Now you can see that that is spiraling out on all of the flowers as well. So you can actually, once you double click on a petal, go in and start to edit anything that you want inside of that petal. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of there now. And there is my next flower that I've kind of made here. And again, I could take this same thing, I could duplicate it, I could rotate it. I can still go in and add more or fewer instances, which is really pretty cool. Let's try doing one where we kind of freehand this. So I'm going to go back to my pencil tool and let's make a more maybe naturalistic flower petal. I have this one up here where I did something kind of like that. So let's go ahead and try to recreate that. So I'll grab my pencil tool and let's just make a like petal kind of like this. Give it a couple ripples at the top, kind of go back down towards the bottom, and there's my petal right there. And I'm going to go ahead and add a fill to this for right now. So let's make this one maybe like a yellow color. I'll leave the stroke on for now so that we can see it. But let's go ahead and see what happens if we rotate something that's a little bit more freehand. So I'll go ahead and same thing, object, repeat, radial, and that's going to pop up right there. I'm going to maybe, decrease the spacing on that, maybe decrease the number of petals. And remember, you can go in here and you can edit in real time. So if I go back and select one of my petals, again, doesn't matter which one, I can double click, I can go in here and watch. If I rotate this petal, look at that. I can bring it towards the center, or I could flip it and do something really funky, go all the way around on the outside. So you can edit one single petal and really kind of have some fun modifying how that works. And again, draw in real time. So I could go grab my pencil tool. Let's say that I wanted to add some little lines in here, maybe like this, and I wanted those to be part of my design. I can draw that into one single petal, and now I can leave isolation mode, and I have this nice little petal drawn right here. I could duplicate this, so I can copy, paste it. I get another instance of it, maybe scale this down a little bit, throw this on top of the other one. I could rotate it, change the color, so that you can see very quickly you can kind of build up your complexity from having these first very simple shapes. Now I've gone down and I have some below here where I really started to build up with gradients and hand-drawn textures or hand-drawn leaf shapes, and layering really up with a bunch more. So I'm going to encourage you to really start with these simple geometric ones. Make sure that you understand the basic premise of it, and then the sky's the limit here. You can get as creative as you want with the different tool sets. You can use your pencil tool, you can use your stroke profiles, you can really draw in any way that you want. The key is you use that object repeat function, and you can start to really have some fun doing this. So go ahead, give it a try, explore, and I'll see you in the next video.